The 2000s changed everything for gaming. Technology was advancing, games were getting bigger, but there was one that stood out above all the rest, and that was Halo. The original Xbox launched alongside Halo Combat Evolved on November 15th of 2001. It became an ambitious first-person shooter that a lot of people thought that couldn't be pulled off at all, especially on console. The gameplay was revolutionary at the time, and to be honest, it still is. The character of Master Chief with his green armor became a staple with the Xbox branding, matching the console's colors, and honestly has become the official mascot of Xbox, no matter how you look at it. And you see, this game was awesome. I remember playing it at my cousin's house on her Xbox. I used to be the black Spartan and she would always pick like the pink one, and we would just be fighting in split screen. It was pretty cool. I wasn't that good at it because I never played a first-person shooter at the time, but I was really drawn to it, especially the art style of Halo 1. I don't know what it is, but it's just so timeless. I mean, even when you look at the HD remaster that we got in 2011, for some reason that original art style just draws you in so much. I mean, I love this game so much that I own it around 4 times, and soon to be 5 times with Halo Campaign Evolved. But I think the biggest moment that every player had when playing this game for the first time was experiencing the Halo ring and seeing how massive the world is. I mean, it gave you a sense that you were in an open world area. I mean, and that was pretty new at the time for a first-person shooter. Normally there were like very linear levels, but this just took it to a grander scale. What I find very interesting is the fact how they had so much confidence for this game, because before the Xbox and the game even came out, there was a book called The Fall of Reach, and this basically was an origin story of Master Chief and Blue Team and having them experience the Fall of Reach, basically. Now, of course, Halo CE is known for one of the best maps ever in split screen and multiplayer, you could say, and that is Battle Creek. What's very interesting, I feel, is the what if of Combat Evolved. Before the game even launched, in its early days, it was actually never going to be a first-person shooter. It was an RTS game, and it looked completely different. You definitely saw some cool new weapons that never actually made it to the original game that we ended up getting, and the designs for certain characters were different, especially Master Chief. Now, the console itself for Xbox, we all know that it's like the cool black shell with the green logo, but the awesome part is that they actually released a special edition console aside with the Halo 1 game. It was this green translucent shell, and you can see all the components of the console. It was so eye-catching. The game being a massive success, around April 1st of 2003, a company called Rooster Teeth created Red vs. Blue, and this is basically cemented into the Halo culture. And it was a cool little mini web series, way before the YouTube days. It was pretty awesome, and it ran for multiple seasons. Now, what I remember the most though, after Halo 1, was the fact how big Halo was getting, especially with the release of Halo 2. I mean, it felt more ambitious. Xbox Live launched, which basically made you play online with people. It was surreal. Man, I remember people throwing LAN parties and staying up late playing Halo 2. It was like no other thing. Yes, now we can play online, but there was always something different when you brought your console over and your TV and just hook up all the consoles together just to play. It took effort, but it was so awesome, and that connection with people, you just don't get that anymore. And then the story in itself expanded. It's so crazy how we went from Halo CE to then Halo 2 and now playing as the Arbiter, which I remember at the time, a lot of people weren't really big on it. I remember I wasn't either. I was playing the game, to be fair, I actually didn't know that we were going to play as the Arbiter. I was just a kid. So when I got to play it and the mission actually switched to him, I was like, wait, well, what's going on? Why am I not playing as John Halo? You know, I kind of wish I wasn't like that. And I'm pretty sure other fans were the same too, because my cousins also thought the same thing. Because I feel like if we were more accepting of the Arbiter, I think he would have played a bigger role in the other Halo games. But other than that, we got this really cool steelbook for Halo 2, which is awesome. But I'm not going to lie, I do prefer the standard cover more. I think it does look better. I mean, listen, Halo 2 was so big that you ended up getting some random weird promotive stuff like Halo condoms. It was just weird. Heck, even Halo 2 was just so popular that it beat other movies that were playing in the theaters. It was crazy. The midnight release for that game was outstanding. Now, if I'm being honest, I actually didn't really play Halo 2 online multiplayer. I only managed to play it on split screen, which I still had a lot of fun, but I do wish I was in that era where people were on voice chat, because the game got so big that they even released this multiplayer pack DLC. Pretty interesting. interesting how they did that back then. But Halo 2 had DLC. But come on, how can we forget Breaking Benjamin, Blow Me Away? That was freaking insane. The fact that that played in the game, in the original version of Halo 2, even if it was just the instrumental, was pretty awesome. And it's so cool that Breaking Benjamin are actually fans of the Halo games. They usually play Blow Me Away in their concerts, and it's so freaking awesome. I cannot imagine Halo 2 without it. Which then brings me to the second point in the soundtrack for Halo 2. Out of the trilogy, I will definitely say that Halo 2 had the best soundtrack ever. You know, playing Halo 2 as a kid, there was always that moment in the final mission of the game where Arbiter tells Tartarus that, you know, the prophets have lied to them.
Would you like to see the relevant data?
Tartarus, the prophets have betrayed us.
Now, of course, then came the juggernaut, the king of all gaming, I would say, in the 2000s, Halo 3. This game was unmatched. First with its promotional videos of finishing the fight, the Believe campaigns for Halo, which were, I would say, one of the greatest, if not the greatest trailers of all time in gaming. Seeing the facial expressions of these model characters just in pain and fighting each other, it was amazing. And as the music is swelling up, you see in the far end, Master Chief being held up by the Brute Chieftain with one arm. It's like all hope is lost until Master Chief looks at the screen and then boom, Believe, Halo 3. There were other trailers like Starry Night, which made you see Master Chief as a little boy, and then boom, it flashes back to him actually in war. Pretty awesome stuff. And then from all the high action ones, you got these other ones that were fully live action, and they were basically taking place after the ending of Halo 3, years later. The soldiers are old, and they're all just talking about the legend of what Master Chief was, which kind of gave you that this was the, well, finality of it all. Then you had the weird stuff like 7-Eleven having cups for Halo, and of course Mountain Dew exploding with game fuel for Halo 3. That was a ritual. You had to get game fuel and you had to get some Doritos for that. But my gosh, the midnight release for this game, I don't think anything will ever come close to this. It was just such a different era at the time, and people were just dressing up in like Spartan outfits. Everybody was celebrating. I mean, heck, never in my life I heard of so many people talking about a single game. And then they had these awesome limited edition console with the Xbox 360, which was Master Chief. It was so cool, and it came with a controller. Then you got multiple versions of the Halo 3, but the big one was the Master Chief helmet, and I love this thing so much. Each of them were numbered. Unfortunately, you couldn't wear the helmet. You can house your games in there. In addition to all those goodies, Todd McFarlane was able to acquire the license for Halo, and he was able to pump out so many figures. And let me tell you, they were super detailed. Now, playing this game was freaking phenomenal, especially when it came to 2 players. Now they actually included the Arbiter. Unfortunately, he again didn't have a bigger role like how he did in Halo 2, but overall it was awesome. But holy crap, the Cortana level. Jesus, that is the worst Halo mission of all time. It is so bad. Then of course the multiplayer was the biggest highlight for Halo 3. I mean, people were playing this religiously. I mean, I remember getting out of school and everybody was just talking about Halo nonstop and getting online, meeting new friends, sending friend requests. I mean, Halo 3 was just so massive that it beat movies in opening day like Spider-Man 3 and the books of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And around 10,000 stores across the United States, they held midnight launches. It literally became the fastest selling video game ever to launch and exceeding 300 million copies worldwide in its first week. Now, after Halo 3, I would say these were kind of like the final days of the 2000s of Halo. There was Halo Wars, that was a strategy game, and it almost reminded you of what Halo was originally going to be. It was pretty cool, and the cutscenes for that game were amazing. But then Halo 3 ODST came out, and I was around high school when it came out, and I remember pre-ordering it, and I was in health class, and all the boys were talking about, yo, are you gonna get Halo 3? Did you pre-order it? I'm gonna play as Sergeant Johnson. It was just cool, and seeing Firefight, oh man. And it was so interesting to play as somebody else other than Master Chief. I mean, you really felt it. I mean, when you got hit by those brutes, it definitely hurt. Honestly, I would say that that game was probably the hardest Halo game for me. The cool thing was that when you bought Halo 3 ODST, there was like a little pamphlet that said Remember Reach, and it was promoting Bungie's final Halo game, and it was basically a prequel to the series. Now, Reach also has some amazing promotions similar to Halo 3 with its live action trailers, and it made you think, why did we never get a movie about this? The funny thing is it was going to be directed by Neil Blomkamp, who is the one that directed District 9. And by the way, if you guys have not seen that movie, it is crazy. really need to watch it. Now, while Halo 3 was amazing, I would say Halo Reach has the highest significance for me. I was actually in high school when this came out, and at the time, my Xbox had died by the red ring of death, and so I had to wait a few months to get an Xbox again. Luckily, my mother actually ended up getting me the Halo Reach limited edition console, which was that silver Xbox One. It unfortunately also kind of died on me. Now, playing this story online was actually the one that I played the most with my friends. It was awesome, man. Just being able to play that with your sparring that you created, and then seeing all the noble teams just slowly get taken out. Yo, it was crazy. But around that time, we also ended up getting stuff like Halo Legends, which is this anime style side story of Halo. You've seen Master Chief and other characters, and it makes me wonder, why did we never get an actual full-fledged anime of Halo? Do you guys know how cool that would have been? Like, I think of people that could be really good at creating a Halo anime would be like MAPPA Studios or WIT Studios, the people that did Attack on Titan. Can you imagine that with the animation? I think the reason why Halo is so special in the early 2000s is just not because how good the game was, but I think it's just the experience in general. The community was just so healthy. Xbox Live was thriving. There was excitement upon every release. It was never bought with negativity. And I think that's why Halo was just basically peak in the 2000s. And if you guys enjoy these type of videos where we take a look back at certain eras, movies, video games, and just pop culture in general, go ahead and check out the rest of the channel. And like Master Chief says, I need a weapon.